love to tell them.
Tell Brand.
Oh my God. What it do? What it do? We live, baby. This real shit. We show all the scenes, behind the scenes. She over here acting the fool, y'all.
Per usual.
Look at this co-host. You just clowning.
I am the innocent one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You not innocent. Oh, do we got time?
That's not how we want to start the show. Is it? It's not how we want to start the show, is it?
Well, hello. Welcome back to Rules to Dem Crowns. We on another motherfucking episode. Hey, what's
another
up?
One. It's another one.
I'm geeked. We got really real in this motherfucker. We got Big Ken Dog in this motherfucker.
King Kendrick the dog, the
Peace,
god.
peace.
What?
King Dog the god.
Wait, who is it? King
Kendrick the god.
There you go.
Let it be known.
Get that shit right.
Who that is?
Who it is? How y'all doing today? How y'all feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
Yes, I'm so happy that you're here. How about you, cuz?
I'm feeling good, always down to promote my shit.
I know that's right.
Okay,
Pull the mic up a little bit
Okay.
so we can hear you nice and clear. Y'all probably hear me chewing my gum loud as a bitch in this moment. Let me stop.
Quit chomping. Quit chomping. I probably was too.
Say that sound flavor. Is somebody
knocking.
at the door?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's a different door. No,
Maybe
they
he knocking
interrupting
at
our
the
shit, y'all.
Say, is that Amazon? No.
As much
They
as I
follow
order
me.
off that motherfucker, they
Right.
probably follow my ass.
Right.
Kitty, your teeth white as a bitch.
All right.
What you be
What you be using?
Oh well, it's this product that I use. It's this black charcoal. You put your toothbrush in. I think it's made by Sacred.
Yeah, get it out. Get it out.
What's it called again?
Sacred Skin Essentials, baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see the teeth?
Yeah.
You see them glowing? Oh my God. What? All natural, plant-based, organic oral care for your
Yes.
oral needs.
You get results.
Yes.
Yes, y'all. Some of y'all need it because it also combats bacteria and stank breath. Like, get it.
Y'all should do that.
Some of y'all be cute as a bitch, breath smelling like. But that's why I create beautiful products that can help assist you in that. It just runs in the family, the gifts, the talents. What you got over there, cuz?
What you got?
What you got? It look like you got some good nourishing shit over there
Got
too.
my Soulful Essentials, it is plant-based, vegan, cruelty-free lotion, and then because I'm a licensed hemp processor, it's infused with CBD. So this is CBD infused lotion.
Yes.
There's the peppermint and tea tree body wash. People be talking about Dr. Bronner's and shit, but my shit come with a little razzle dazzle because it got the CBD in it.
Yeah.
And then I got the plant-based baby powder made out of
No, that's
arrowroot.
that what?
Because
That's the
talcum
pussy
was making
preservative
motherfuckers'
power.
Pussy fall off.
Oh,
That's an important one.
This
Now
does
say that
not
again.
make
Now
the
what was
pussy
it
fall
doing?
off.
Talcum was making motherfuckers' pussy fall off, and then they was blaming it on that HPV shit.
Yeah.
So it was
And he got
talcum.
products that's
Talcum.
gonna keep the pussy from falling off.
He
Oh,
has
Right.
pussy preservative powder. Y'all.
PPP. These the real PPPs that you all see.
Right.
Because Goddess is using this shit. Okay.
Get them while supplies last.
Right.
Arrowroot powder is very powerful. It's antiperspirant too, so that is really good. I know that's a good product.
Mhm.
Get your shit off, cuz I'm proud of you.
I appreciate you, cuz.
Yes.
Yes.
So what y'all been up to? How y'all been feeling as far as the seasons changing?
It's been just a collection of emotions and different personalities and stuff like that. Because as the seasons change, you get less sunlight, so more people are prone to that seasonal, depression and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't know why. They just, it's sad, so I gotta get on my depression shit. No, you lacking sunlight. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Still try to get outside, get as much sunlight as you can. Still try to ground and shit, so that your body, because depression is just your body telling you that something needs to change.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Some need some awareness.
Yep.
I always say when I'm feeling down, that's my check engine. Like
That's
something
what it
going
is.
on.
That's what it is.
something going on. I need to go within and figure out what that is. You know what I'm saying? Because the answers always lie within us. So
And a lot of my depression comes from feeling stuck. When you feel stuck in some shit, stuck in a relationship, stuck at a job, something. When you feel stuck and can't figure out how to get the fuck out that shit, that's when you get depressed.
Absolutely.
You start feeling like closed in, confined.
Yeah, and then you're not moving.
Right. So that just go back to the importance of sunlight, changing of the seasons. It's just how pivotal it is being out in the sun, being out in nature. Grounding, like you said. We get taught to not go outside barefoot. But that's
there
how
go chaos, y'all.
Chaos in the building.
Chaos. Sorry to cut you off, Kenny. My apologies. Welcome, brother. Welcome, young God. All up in here. Got all these gods up in here. Oh, I'm so excited.
I know. All this masculine
I love
energy.
y'all dearly. Like all three of y'all. I fucking love y'all. Like people, be sure to have some amazing God masculines in your life.
Yes, ladies.
They are amazing.
Yes.
I'm so happy that all of y'all are here. Yes. So we were just talking about some good shit as far as how our bodies and our mind and our spirit adjust or is affected by like the change of the season. And Kenny was talking and going into that. And it's been, how you feel about the seasons?
I feel like it's magical. Each season brings its own different, energy. Right. I feel like the energy of winter is more so like you more kind of just trying to put your stuff together, stockpile and whatnot, but then it's like that spring is all about that renewal, summer. I think summer is time to just show your tail a little bit, just
action.
And to me, fall is like a rebirth to me. Like, whenever fall come around, I just feel like a new energy coming. I think it has something to do with like the leaves falling off the tree, and that symbolizing like a death and a rebirth.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah,
I think that's no, for real. Do you ever get affected by the colder seasons, like emotionally or mentally?
Yeah, definitely.
Talking to Mike for me.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the colder seasons, I just really kind of put my head down and just get into grind mode because it ain't really, especially being up here in the Midwest, it's like once it get cold, it's like ain't really too much to do but get some money and so that's really kind of how I look at it.
Do you get more creative in the winter?
Yeah, I think the winter bring out a different type of creativity. Like I think so. Like as far as like being like a musician, I think when the winter come around, I more so get introspective and like just think about deeper things. Like when the summer come here, I think I'm more so like focusing on like flashy things and more so just like having fun and just enjoying life. When the winter come here, it's like I'm just thinking about like, man, what am I finna do going into the new year? Like, what do I want the new year to look like for me? And just like things like that.
Yeah, and I got a whole different like perspective on this time of the year.
Okay.
With fall, because like Cash just said, it gets cold outside. Now you're like, okay, it's wintertime coming. Now it's time to grind. Right? Let me stockpile. Let me get ready for the spring, for the summer. Like you said, summer, you feeling a little bit more flashy. It's about action. So we program our minds to feel like that's how we energetically should move, but in reality, you think about it like, again, with the leaves are falling, they're dying, they're just shedding, letting go. Animals, they're going to hibernation, they're resting. So that's really what this time of the year, with the season should really bring about. Is just resting, reflecting, going within, going into that isolation, that hermit mode. And now, you can let go of those things that are no longer serving you. And now when the season has changed, now you can spring into action. So that's really how I've been moving lately. When it comes to this time of year.
That came to my awareness. Like, I think I became aware of that maybe like 2 years ago, to think of it in that perspective and allow myself to embody that. I'm still adjusting though. I'm still adjusting because it's like not only like that's embedded in our DNA. Like our parents would be on the go in the winter and weren't resting. So it's like to delayer all of that. It's still been a process, but when I'm able to find the moments, I do be like, yeah, this is the time I should be resting. Allow myself to really go within and chill and let my body rest, but we've also been programmed to think that we just supposed to keep going all the time instead of being in tune with our body. Because around this time, I really get into those low moments because of the weather change. My body needs sun. I'm that individual that's deeply affected by that shit. And okay. And I don't like it. I don't like it. And I've been over it. So, what I'm going to do for myself is go somewhere where I ain't fucking got to feel like this and it's sunny all the time. And that choice is not it. That choice is for my spirit. It ain't got nothing to do with the money.
Right.
It don't got nothing to do with. I need my mental to be well all year round.
Absolutely.
All year round, because that affects my mothering. It affects my finances and all of that. And I'm keeping game face on when I'm really fucking feeling down and exhausted because
you're going against nature. Like he said, if everyone else and everything else is going into hibernation and going into rest, and we've been conditioned, of course, because we're conditioned to work for other people. So why would we tell you to slow down at any point in the time? So when you feel like, oh, this is my time to rest, no, they reprogram that mindset to say, no, you're supposed to go harder because it's scarcity now. And we don't operate in scarcity because we know that we're abundant in all things and in all seasons. So there's no reason to operate in that space. So now we can learn to rest and go with the flow of nature. And that's why we are learning to find it, a more peaceful way of living. We don't have to go by these standards that they've created because they want you to be like, hell yeah, it's grind time in the wintertime and it's grind time in the summertime. It's grind time in the springtime. When you resting, if it's always grind time.
Yeah. Chasing exhaustion.
Exactly. I ain't for that.
Something that just got brought to my attention recently. Happy Hoodoo Heritage Month. The veil is very thin during this time of the year. So it's really important to use this time for ancestral healing. Those of us who have altars and connect and open our door to our ancestors, like this is the time where you give them ample offerings and really start to heal that bloodline because of the veil being so thin.
Come on.
Right. Come on. And what you can learn just by watching because everything is a rhythm, like even with the seasons. Like even this season here, fall is meant to be used as a transition season. So again, even with the trees shed the leaves because with less sun is no more use to them.
Correct.
But what those leaves do, before we fuck it up by raking and shit, what the leaves actually do is they add a blanket layer for the soil so that when the snow falls, there's insulation. So that it fully covers the life in the soil, the hidden world within worlds, blanketed by.
Wow.
So we think of the leaves just dying and they falling. No, even in death, there's purpose to be served. So that's why the transition.
We ain't even 10 minutes. Have we been in that long? You giving it to us?
Even in the transition, we have to learn to appreciate. Like even with Hoodoo Heritage Month. We reverence those who transition, understanding how they still can serve even on that other realm, just like the leaves.
Absolutely.
So we have to understand that life is regenerated through death. Like I'm into agriculture. If we don't have death of the leaves and shit to go back into the soil for the plants to take those minerals and recycle them into something that we can still benefit from, eventually you have food that has no nutritional value. So it is the death during the transitions that allow us to still live.
All right, end of episode. We can go home now.
Over here breathing like.
But you spot on though with the tree, because when it does lose those leaves, which is intentional.
Right.
The focus goes into the soil, like you said, into the roots. So the tree is shedding these leaves because it's like, okay, I don't need you during these cold months. Again, let me let go of something that isn't serving me.
Right.
And now I can focus on what is and really ground and focus on this soil that I'm pulling up to sustain.
Mhm.
Through this
Understanding that
transition.
it's still serving you. So even some of them motherfuckers you feel you have to shed, we may not be aware of it, but they still serve us in some faculty.
Absolutely.
Even through just the lesson and experience with them that served us, so that will continue to serve us. Like even in that simple form. So we got to be mindful of that and appreciate instead of looking at these things that we let go and or are death to us as a negative thing and taking it in a negative light and way. As we look at them in positive lights and appreciate it, and then we could also look at, okay, how can I utilize this death if need be too?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because when the ancestor died, I'm utilizing your ass.
Yeah.
The fuck? Especially if you one that served my highest good.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm utilizing you. You know what I mean? So it's like we got to be grateful for that. And that's something that had to come to me recently with this experience of my sis transitioning, you know?
Yes.
And it's like that shit was heavy. It's still heavy. But it's like this was the one that had to teach me to appreciate the death.
Yes.
And how I can appreciate it from before the death and then to after it.
Absolutely.
So, and
because you haven't felt disconnected yet, have you?
No, because of the whole change in perspective. Absolutely. You still feel the emotions.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that should be a fucking roller coaster.
Absolutely.
But beyond that, it'd be like, oh, motherfucker ain't gone.
No, because we still talk to her. We still connect with her.
Here, you know what I mean? And then when you tap in even more and you have certain abilities, we really be kicking it. Like it's just when I wake up in this physical realm and my physical feels and knows and sees that she's not here. Absolutely. That triggers an emotion.
Absolutely.
Understandable.
You know what I mean? So what I learned to also allow myself to feel that shit. I just don't engulf myself in it or drown in it.
Absolutely.
Transmute that shit.
Transmute it.
Use that's when you become creative. When
absolutely.
You know, and that's what I do at times, you know, because like she used to call me the Oracle.
Yeah,
like, motherfucker, talk your shit. Get out here and shine.
She did.
You too dope to be humble. And it's like, baby, that ain't how I move. You know,
but she gonna let you fucking know because she's seen it.
Right. You know,
clearly.
So it's like even now, sometimes when the motherfucker feel down, sometimes when the motherfucker feel like nobody listening, they be like, nigga, you the Oracle. Like motherfuckers who sit at your feet for knowledge, got whole followings of thousands of people. And they might not know I exist, but I still impact them.
Absolutely.
And that's what oracles do. They're more wise and they chill.
They ain't the one. They the one Neo go to talk to get that shit done.
Talk your shit.
Let it.
And you ain't too fond of the worldly shit either. Oracles don't be too. They ain't into all the worldly shit like that. They be chilling.
They know what it is.
They be chilling.
They know what it is and what it ain't.
Now sit down and listen while I let you know what the fuck it is and what it ain't. I'll be like, I can't wait to talk to her. I'll be geeky. I'll be like, okay, I'm on the phone with cuz, or I'm gonna stop by cuz.
Man, I know when that connect happens, it's gonna be some deep gems.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, oh
man. Speaking of the death and the transformation thing, like I'm like low key obsessed with death.
Yeah.
Because before I came into my spiritual enlightenment, I was afraid of death, you know, just the unknown. And when someone I love would transition over into the ancestral realm, it would bring me great sadness and pain. So that's what led me to really researching so much about death and what is it really like once we go through that white light. And if you guys have not heard of Dolores Cannon, I would highly recommend you guys go look at some of her work because she's like the leading expert in past life regression.
Is that the one you sent me the other day?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't get to watch it yet.
She's been doing past life regressions for over 40 years. And one of the things that she said that really impacted me, she was like, okay, she was doing a past life regression for one of her clients. And he was like, I want to go back to my first life on earth. Right. So she was like, I'm expecting him to go back into some like primitive crossbreed between ape and man or something. But when he went back to his first life, he literally was just gas in the atmosphere millions of years ago. And his job, his purpose was just simply to remove ammonia from the atmosphere. And then as he elevated, he became dirt. He became a rock. He became a plant.
The evolution.
And she said that every last one of us, we lived through every element We are
the
everything.
elements. We are the
everything.
elements.
Yes.
Yes.
And it just really made a lot of sense to me. I'm like, wow.
See, and the funny thing is, that's dope as hell. I appreciate that. G.
Yeah, it was good.
Because the funny thing is, I fuck with Dolores Cannon on the other side. Because while she do the past life regressions, she's also a medium for extraterrestrials.
Oh.
So that, I mean, intelligence is intelligence.
Absolutely.
And our brain does not generate consciousness. It picks up consciousness like a Wi-Fi signal to a phone. So when you understand that, you can view death differently, understanding that if this phone get thrown away, Netflix still exists. You just pick that shit up on something else. You know what I'm saying? And that's how our consciousness is. But once we understand that our brain is more so a radio tuner than something that creates your reality, you get to pimp that shit out to what you would like it to be. So just like you can have past life regressions, you can receive messages from other intelligence, whatever you call it. It may be the ancestors, it may be aliens, whatever. Intelligence is eternal. So, and it's not confined by time. This body is the limitation of us. It isn't our zenith. So once I learned that, I stopped fearing death, because I understood when I close my eyes, I can still see shit. I could even see shit in my past. I could visualize shit in my future. But my body is temporarily stuck in this moment.
Right.
And that's an illusion within itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when you understand that concept and know that that's what it is, what's something someone can do to strengthen that? Like
to strengthen,
to know that when they go to sleep, they can connect with this and connect with that. Or heighten this.
Well, there's different means. Like, I don't really fuck with astral projection or things like that. But I know when I was accidentally tapping in, it's because I'm a herbalist. So, at times I might have had mugwort essential oil, which gives you lucid dreaming. But then I might have fucked around and put some rosemary in there, which helps you retain your memory while you lucid dreaming. And then I might have put some frankincense in there that opens you up to that shit. Like, just like, especially around this time of year.
You was kicking it out there. That was
on accident, because this time of year I always have my humidifier going for my children, because the air get dry and hot, and the same reason people burn sage is because even though they say clearing negative energy, sage kills 98% of the bacteria and shit. Because when you burning it, it's just giving off essential oils. Absolutely. So I cut out the middleman. I just go to my essential oils. So I had them shits running all winter. And just so happened one winter, I was also stopped smoking weed. That also give you vivid dreams and shit. But
they clear.
Man, my shit be savage. I'm always dumping that zombies and shit. I was like I'm boarding up houses with AKs on my back and shit. Like, I hate that shit. But but it definitely is possible. I'm not going to jack like I'm familiar with astral projection and shit like that. So that might be somebody else you want to chop it up with.
I think another way to tap in deeper into your consciousness, especially on the other side, like through lucid dreaming, is fasting. A lot of people sleep on fasting. If you eat 4 hours before you go to bed, you still digesting. So therefore your brain is not fully turned off. Right, exactly. So just having a discipline of like, I'm only going to eat within this 8-hour window, and then the other 16 hours of the day will mean 8 of them you sleep. So you got 8 hours that you're not eating, 8 hours that you are eating. And then if you couple that with eating some nutritional food or plant-based that's feeding your mentality and your spirituality, it's just like you have no choice but to tap in.
Right. Because I mean, our body naturally built for the shit. Like when we drink water, well, I ain't gonna say we, but the optimum body, because we've been pulled out that shit, you know what I'm saying, with all the bullshit. But the optimum body that is running at its optimum capability, when we drink water, your body converts that into it's called like 4-phase water, or basically you convert the water you intake into liquid crystal, which is able to receive electromagnetic fields. So when you eat right, when you think right and shit like that, we're basically machines. We're electromagnetic machines. everything that we do from speaking to feeling is electricity. Electricity always gives off a magnetic field, but our body has liquid crystal in it to receive the information that comes from it. Even just like the light spectrum, just getting in the sun, different spectrums of light tell your body to do different shit. So another thing I would recommend for people who can't get a lot of sunlight, look into infrared therapy, because it talks to the mitochondria in your body, which causes your body to produce more ATP, which is the energy that helps our cells rebuild themselves.
Wasn't I just talking to you about the red therapy for the hair? Wow. I just got up on that shit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm finna utilize that shit for a lot of great things.
Yeah. Just make sure y'all got a pen and paper handy so y'all can drop all this knowledge that cuz over here giving away. All this
y'all better be listening.
This wisdom.
Woo, better be listening.
Absolutely. And then I kind of want to circle back on when we were discussing astral projection, or someone being aware of how they can leave their physical body during sleep.
Yeah.
Or tap into the other gifts.
Yeah. And really like it comes down to just changing your mindset and your limited belief when it comes to things like time travel, like teleporting, like astral projection, even conjuring. Like, change your viewpoint and what we were told, to how we were told to view these things. These things only exist in movies and fairy tales, right? Time travel. We can't time travel. No one has created a time machine yet, right?
It's a part of your belief.
Yeah, we think of Back to the Future,
Right.
But it's like when you really allow yourself to not view yourself the way society will have you view yourself, which is just a human being. We have so many limitations. There's only so much that we can do physically, right? Mentally, right? Take yourself out of that box. When someone calls you up and they say, you were just on my mind, or I was just thinking about you, or I could have swore I just seen you. You astral projected to that person. When you go back and you can experience a memory so vivid where you can smell the smells, you can hear the sounds. It's literally like you were back in that very moment. You get those same emotions you felt 10 years ago. That's time travel. You just time travel.
Right.
Yes.
Your perspective on how it's viewed.
Absolutely.
It's viewed.
Like we have all these.
I think you got to be a fucking machine. We the motherfucking machine.
Like we
the
are some
machine.
phenomenal, limitless beings.
Yes.
If we only, just realize our capabilities are endless, and that these things that we see on TV, we actually are doing these things. When someone calls you up out of nowhere, I was just thinking about you. You just conjured that person up. You just say, I'm gonna call Rena tomorrow, and then she calls you. You just conjured her up.
Yeah. Soul ties be real. Bro.
Absolutely. so the mind, what it can do, what it's capable of, is endless.
Well, yeah, I mean, all the connections. But what you're referring to right there, now science is just not, me. I love quantum physics because it ties the spiritual with the science because they're meant to go together. Like
I think he's trying to take your title as Bill Nye, sis.
Listen,
you can have it.
You can have it. No.
You Bill Nye. You Bill Nye.
What they say is right. So what you described is what's called quantum entanglement. Basically, anytime two objects share the same space, they exchange because we're not solid. So anytime you shake somebody's hand, you're literally exchanging pieces of yourself with that person.
Yes.
Exchange matter.
So what they're showing is with quantum entanglement, that piece of you that's miles away is still you. So when you think of somebody, that part of you that's still entangled in them resonate with them. So that's why when you call people, they're like, "Dog, I was just about to call you." So just like you said, the astral projection, quantum entanglement, now now science likes to catch up with shit. Like even now, people who will shun astrology fall and follow the science of seasonal personalities. So now they don't call it astrology, but they do say
seasonal
they,
personality.
they do say if you were born in May, you know, you were getting more of this type of spectrum from the sun. You know, the harvest was just coming out, so you ate better. So now they try to explain it, and whether they explain it or not, it still goes down to what motherfuckers been saying from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If just like I explained how sunlight speaks to your body through different spectrums, there's more heavenly bodies in the sun. So I'm convinced that each star that you see, light that's reaching your body is speaking to you in a certain way. And now they just say it for the sun, but shit, what about the planets that reflect light to us? What about the stars that shoot light to us? All that shit is information.
Absolutely.
So like I said, they don't call it new age and astrology and shit like that. They now call it a seasonal personality.
Funny as a bitch.
I mean, whatever they need to call it, just fucking
whatever.
be empowered. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like, that's the sad thing. Motherfuckers wait till science before they use it to be empowered. Up until white man science validated, it's black and witchcraft. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Fucking
Hey, big facts.
fucking facts.
Big facts.
And then you the crazy motherfucker for believing it. But when science,
now it's backed by
when science
Yeah.
says, that's just like with that damn shot dog. Okay, let me not.
Don't go there.
Go ahead.
Yeah, and like my brother Real was talking about, you know, how like we live in an interesting time right now. We live in a time where science and spirituality are merging very frequently.
Aquarius.
And a lot of things that have been professed spiritually for thousands of years are now being proven through science. There is a certain camera I could take a picture of you with that'll capture your aura.
Right.
And you know that everything manifests in the spirit before the flesh. So if you are moving into illness, your aura will reflect it first. I took a masterclass called Love or Above recently, and Stephen Hawkins, rest in peace, he was able to measure human emotion on a spectrum from 0 to 1,000, and each emotion resonates at a certain frequency. So the lowest emotion on the human spectrum is shame, guilt. You know, it's like 20 from 0 to 1,000. Anger resonates at 100. Pride is 175. Courage is 200. Love is 500. Joy 700, and enlightenment is 1,000. The point of the class was called Love or Above because one person living at the frequency of love has the power to touch 750,000 people, impact their life. Yeah. So that was just saying, if you live at love or above, you will see how much your life will change because you are on a different frequency now. You know what I mean?
I'm experiencing that now. Y'all are too.
Yeah.
Definitely. But remember when you were at that place that you wasn't?
Yeah, when you had that anger inside of you,
that shame,
yeah.
And that's why we can pick up on it in individuals right away too. You know, like it's the senses. You feel that shit, and you be like, yeah, nah.
You recognize it.
I mean, and it's not even in a judgmental way because what I like to do is I send them love too. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean I have to experience you. Cause I ain't in that space right now.
Path because we walked it.
Exactly. Right. And then you still touching them too by when you recognize it and feel it in your senses, you send them love. So that's still impactful. And they may not ever get to experience you, but you still did something to impact them by sending that love. So it's important that we do that. I love that. You gotta send me that class. I want to take it. I like that.
Love is free, man. It's powerful. You just give love every day.
Very much so. And then love brings about gratitude, and gratitude is one of the highest frequencies. It puts your mind into an alpha wave state to where now you really tapped in. So that's how it goes. You know, love, appreciation. You know, because when you love somebody, you appreciate the time that they fuck with. You know, so that taps you in. And just, I mean, like I said, I grew up in church. I taught Sunday school. I used to preach shit like that. So even when you in church. Oh, that's dope as hell, man.
Deacon swagger.
I remember that shit. But you know, like there was times motherfuckers used to come into the church and just break down and I feel the love in here, and you know, they're like, yeah, you see, that's the Lord working. And I mean, not to take away that's the Lord working mysterious ways, but the science behind it is the law of resonance and the law of amplitude. When like they say, when two or more are gathered, when two or more people are gathered on the same mindset, especially one of gratitude. That's why when they say Jesus, as soon as people say Jesus, they think of the redemptive act of the work on the cross.
Yes,
died for such a lowly soul like me. Oh, I'm so unworthy.
Such a worm. I'm such a worm.
But so they still get into that.
I'm not worthy.
They still get into that gratitude shift, but they're thankful for what somebody else did for such an unworthy vessel as themselves. So they still, everything is a switch. They still hitting that switch. They just hitting it in a different way. But when we understand the power of love and gratitude and understand like the Maharishi effect, because that's the dude who got a whole bunch of people together to meditate, and it literally, they were able to document how crime stopped, that's the Maharishi effect. It don't take a lot of folk. It don't take a lot of folk.
That collective energy.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Collective energy. That's amazing.
Yeah, like just touching on gratitude, like the importance of having it, and having it and seeing it, no matter what the circumstance is.
Right.
Gratitude despite, what it is that you may be going through, what it is that may be coming ahead, like just gratitude in all things. And that's a state of, like you said, love, at its highest, at its highest level.
Yeah.
Where no matter what it is that I'm going through, I can find that part that's gonna make me better, that part that was sent here to teach me and show me something. I can find that part and be grateful for that little bit. Like that right there takes again a love that if more people were able to, like you said, reach that point, like you said, they were able to stop crying.
Yeah.
So, just imagine what we can do collectively as a community if we all had love, self-love, first of all.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Within you first.
Yeah.
Starts there.
Because then you able to also be good to each other, because you love yourself and work on yourself and create that divine love and connect with that, then you're going to always give that out.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's important that we do that for each other, and then it'll take away this blame game of this person is not responsible, that person not responsible. What about you?
Right.
And like I said, look at how quick that frequency spreads. Like you said, love or above. It's infectious.
Yeah.
And yet so many people deny it. So many people are afraid of it. So many people reject it.
Man.
Yeah, it's because real shit. Can't nobody hurt you until they make you feel like they love you, because then you bring your guards down.
Absolutely.
So most people are scared of love because they've been hurt by somebody
who claims
said
to love
they
them.
love them.
Absolutely.
And most people don't realize they use love as a weapon. It is used to bring your guard down. So now I have open access to whatever I want to do to you. So it's understandable, and it takes time to teach people how to transmute that shit. Like I consider myself an alchemist. So I don't, I don't come outside a lot, just because I be when I want to go outside, I watch my kids jump on the. I know y'all be on my ass too. Like
we do. Come outside
sometimes. You want to kick it with me? It's like shit. Well, come over.
I still think this might be a hologram. I don't know.
Right.
It ain't him.
But a lot of people unfortunately have such a bad experience with somebody who said they love them.
Absolutely.
And then real shit, the person may have actually believed that they love them, but they're only loving them through their understanding of what love is.
Come on.
What if they was raised seeing their mama get beat by a nigga that said he love her? You know what I'm saying?
That's what love
What if they get raised by a nigga that's cheating on their mama but saying he love her? So now it's like, well, shit, I love my lady, And yeah, I cheat on her every now and again, but shit, you know, my mama got cheated on. I know my daddy love my mama. You know, like we perpetuate that shit of what we think love is.
And like, not to cut you off, but like, what emotion is more powerful than the emotion of love?
Well, shit, I would say gratitude, but a lot of times you got to tap into love to hit gratitude.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately,
it's a crucial emotion.
Yeah. No, it's what love does is causes you to see somebody as yourself. Love makes you include people. When you love somebody, it's like, damn, I'm hungry. Let me call home and see if everybody hungry.
Absolutely.
Because love makes you include. But a lot of times we fuck around and include the wrong people who didn't mean us no good, or they legit may have meant us good, but they're so programmed with all the bullshit that we've all experienced that when they're not consciously deciding to love you the way you need to be loved, they fall back into that program of doing the fuck shit.
Right. Absolutely.
I really feel like you can't really love nobody until you love yourself. And the reason why is because it's the reflection, like as within, so without. So, you know, if I don't love myself and I don't honor myself and respect myself, I'm going to attract people who don't know how to love me because I don't know how to love me. Right. You know what I mean? So that's what, like, I think everything just start with self, understanding self. And then because of the love that I have for myself, I can extend that to you. Like when I was going through my shadow work process, I had a lot of anger towards my father, you know, because he was like a present but absent figure in my life. It's like, you around, but you ain't teaching me nothing. You know what I mean? And so like when I start to look at how my dad, like, you know, he got a lot of gifts, but he also like allow his demons to conquer him. And I had to realize I can't be mad at you, Dad, because you don't love yourself enough to love me. And I just started praying for my dad to love himself instead of me being angry at him.
Right.
You know,
and that's how it go, man. Like when I was going through my divorce, for sure, man. That vulnerability is dope. When I was going through my divorce, it helped me because it showed me that like pain isn't unilateral. You know what I'm saying? You might, like at the time I was hurt because I was going through a divorce, felt like I failed my kids for not being able to keep their family together. But on the flip side of that, I was thinking about all the other niggas that was doing fuck ass shit that I basically wish this shit upon them. So sometimes we got to be careful of the energy we desire for other motherfuckers to catch. Because we will cause it to manifest physically, and because they never signed that contract with that outcome, it double backs home to you. So I found myself going through shit that you would think a cheater would go through, a beater would go through, something like that, because I was judging motherfuckers like that. And ultimately, but I ultimately reaped
that experience.
I ultimately reaped the judgment that I was trying to push on the others. So, but you absolutely right. And we have to forgive our parents. You know, it's easier said than done. But through self-love and shadow work, like you said, I was able to understand, damn, these motherfuckers that I was wishing this shit on, they was just doing what they know to cope. You know, they might have had to do that shit to get up in the morning and still get it and make it happen for their kids. And then come home to unappreciation, cold shit, you know, dirty house, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk about it though. Let's go there though. Can we go there? Because we wanted to talk about that. So let's go there. So let's talk about since we were kind of like dabbling in, you know, mental health and things like that. But let's do that since we have these beautiful masculines among us today. Let's talk about men and their mental health and how the feminine support that or lack in supporting that. Let's talk about it. Anybody want to start?
Anybody? It don't matter.
Go first,
or do y'all want me to elaborate?
Yeah, I would appreciate somebody.
Okay. Hostess.
Okay, let's elaborate on that a little bit more. So what I'm saying is, you know, where you could say men only know how to love you, you know, from what they were taught, or, you know, what we call toxic love these days. If that's what they've always been known to do and accept, then, you know, where do we help men find their worth? Like, you know, do y'all get what I'm saying? Like, how can women, you know, help y'all find y'all worth? Like, in what ways do you feel like we are tearing down them, you know, and making things worse for men in our society? You get what I'm saying? We're not, where are we not supporting you all? Like, where can we improve? Because that's the goal, is to teach women how we can improve with. I know the problems, but I'm asking from y'all perspective, and I'm trying to figure out a way to word it.
I feel you. But so I step out there first. Okay. So first and foremost, you have to understand that men are human. Mm-hmm. You know, and you also have to understand or ask yourself, where did you derive your idea of what a man is? Did you see a man? Did you hear about men from a person who experienced a man? Mm-hmm. You know, unfortunately, as a man, we have this role built for us that is built by motherfuckers that ain't never experienced a man. They might have been around niggas fucking on their mama. They might have been around niggas that, you know, older uncles and shit like that. They might have been told what a man is from Disney. Like we running a lot of that bullshit. We gotta deal with a lot of shit that Disney caused. Mm-hmm. You know, every motherfucker feel like they a princess just because they got a pussy. You know what I'm saying? It's like you want a motherfucker to come in and sweep you off your feet, bitch. But what the fuck is you doing?
What you bringing, baby?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
So we have, like, before we had this conversation, we kind of have to step back. First off, learn emotional intelligence from my book, 12 Steps to Becoming Your Own Dope.
Yes,
so that we can, so that we can have these conversations without getting the ass hurt. Mm-hmm. Because what men kind of face trying to step up and be a man for a woman is, well, baby, what kind of woman are you today? Are you the independent woman that don't need nothing from a nigga? Or are you still
decide what you want?
You the woman who want equality, but then to be damned if you have to propose to a nigga? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, so we don't know what she is today. It is one of the challenges. What do you want today, baby? Absolutely. You tell me, you know, you want a nigga to step up and initiate shit, but then when you, for example, what my experience when I used to date and shit, women wanted you to select a restaurant. They didn't want to tell you what restaurant they like because they wanted you to choose it. But as you run down restaurant, I don't like that one. I don't like that. Well, tell me what the fuck you like.
Women
stop that dumb shit.
No, for real. That ass.
You should know.
We talk about that.
We talk about that a lot with women. Me and Rena be like, no, they can't read your fucking
mind. But
mouth.
Unfortunately, you know, not to place blame on women because they've been programmed. They've been programmed by motherfuckers who have told them what their ideal man is and never even seen that shit. They getting told what the fuck a man is by a single woman who can't keep a man. Not even a nothing ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? So
ain't even keep a nothing ass nigga.
Nah, you know, like, we going into the fall. You know what I'm saying? So like we going into the fall where a lot of these relationships are about to be need-situationships. Somebody just need a place to stay. You know, there's situationships, there's need-situationships. You know, need-situationships is when a motherfucker need a place to stay because it's cold. When a motherfucker need a car to drive because they lack transportation. You know, as a man and somebody who's always been a provider, I had to learn healthy boundaries because at times, like, I thought the worst thing a woman could do to me was leave me until I got with a woman who was with me for everything but me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they love the cars, they love the house, they love everything but you. But they deal with you because this is what come with it. So
talk
as
to
a
him. Talk to him.
Oh, go ahead, cuz.
Talk to him.
Talk your shit.
Talk to him.
And now from a woman's perspective, you know what I mean? Greatly agree.
Highly agree.
Greatly.
And that's exactly what is the problem.
And from the perspective of being that type of woman at first, you know, being in the space of, you know, allowing or just just being a certain way, you know what I mean? That doesn't help the things that I don't want to see in him.
Right.
And then you trying to get him to be this way. We look at you, bitch. Like, figure it the fuck out. But you know, when I came into awareness of that, it was like a bell, and it just like I began to work on all of those traits and expectations that I have for another motherfucker.
Right.
We got to stop having expectations from motherfuckers and just be the best that you can be. And you pay attention to the data of what the motherfucker is choosing to be in themselves. And if it's something that you don't want, then y'all need to just move the fuck around and appreciate the experience instead of being so butthurt with when y'all not aligned or when y'all not connecting or things isn't getting to a space where y'all balance and reciprocate it.
Absolutely.
You know, in just as a masculine, as a feminine, as a father, as a mother, as a, you know, in all of those areas. And I'm
attachments.
Yeah.
Like he said, it's a need. A
Man.
dependency. You know, it's a codependency. I wanna leave this situation. I wanna leave this no good nigga. I wanna leave this no good bitch. But I can't afford to.
Right.
That's you know what I'm saying? So now we just bitter and we angry and we bitter and it's toxic.
Then you get domestic violence.
Yes, because now y'all emotions get to a fucking point where you just want to act out on them because you really not happy.
Right.
Well, the thing is, even with that happiness, I had to learn a long time ago that I'm responsible for my own happiness. And until I learn how to be happy, can't nobody make me happy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
And again, like with the relationship, we have to sit down at the table and understand why we in relationships. You know, on Facebook, all you see is that fucking 50-50 conversation. I fucking hate.
Hey, I can't stand it. That's why I had to get off of it. It was one of those things.
When a motherfucker bring that shit up, it ultimately lets me know why they get in a relationship. Like I get into relationships because I believe what I bring can help somebody else elevate.
Absolutely.
Most people get into a relationship out of what they can get out of it. Absolutely. They get some steady fucking. They might get they get a roommate that can help them with the bills. They get a babysitter for, you know, if it ain't their child, you know what I'm saying? Now they can go they little day parties and shit with the ladies because they gotta stay at home babysitter and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we have to sit down to the table. Like there's a few things we need to iron out. Why do I want a relationship? What is my expectation of what a man is? Have I ever seen a man move in this capacity? You know, we got to ask shit like that because until we understand ourselves and what we can bring to it, we can't help support each other elevate. You know, and that's what, if we ain't together to elevate, to help our kids be great, what the fuck we doing it for?
As man, we really need to understand what it means to be that. What does it mean to be a man? You know, and I'm not gonna say that it's just a clear cut definition because it's not. You know, I'm gonna show up differently as a man than Rel is. I'm gonna show up differently as a man than Chaos is, and that's okay. You know, at the end of the day, we are individuals. Right. You know, even though we are the same, you know, gender, we still show up differently, but there's still, you know, those core principles and values and just, you know, energy that comes with being a man, that a man should show up as and with having. And I know, like myself, when I was, you know, single and dating, I made myself emotionally unavailable to women intentionally. Just because if a woman can't, you know, raise my level of intelligence and she can't hold a conversation with me intellectually, then I only value her as something physical. You know, and I was conscious of that, you know, very early on, you know, as a teenager. So, you know, I didn't use words like I love you. You know, I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to trick a female thinking that I loved her in order to get what, you know, ultimately I wanted out of her, which was, you know, a physical exchange, which was sex. You know, I let it be known, you know, this is what it is. This is what it's not going to be. You know, there was no dating. You're not coming over to meet moms. Like, it was none of that. So I made myself intentionally, you know, not available emotionally. And so it put me in a place of just really undervaluing. It put me in two spaces. You know, one, I was shortchanging myself because, you know, knowing what I know now, the value of having women, the right type of women around you, you know, those women that are gonna nurture you, that are going to be empathetic, that are going to show compassion, that are going to inspire you. You know, they're going to encourage you. Those type of women. You know, healthy connections with women. So I was taking myself out of that space because I didn't want to be friends with a female. I didn't see the value in it.
Right.
Because again, you know, I'm only thinking if we can't, I'm not even giving you a chance to even hold a conversation with me now. At this point, now it's like, oh, you want to talk? No, I'm good. We're the ones that don't want to have fun.
Right.
So now I'm disconnecting myself from what this friendship could.
That's a lot going on right there. No, this is good because that's.
But yeah, but
that's real shit.
But
yeah.
So just think about how many men move that way.
Mm-hmm.
How many men would lose out on being able to have a friendship with someone like you.
Mm-hmm.
How much wisdom you have.
Right.
With someone like Rena, how much knowledge and wisdom that she can bring.
Mm-hmm.
And they would cut themselves off from that because, well, if I can't get physical with you, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
They're completely missing out on the value up here of what a woman can offer.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, in hindsight, knowing that now, you know, I was hurting myself back then, you know, by, like I said, keeping myself emotionally, you know, detached from women, which is how a lot of these men are moving.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all hurting yourselves, fellas. Honestly,
Real.
You know.
What about the women that allow that though?
And the women that allow
it and then want to be upset later.
Yeah. So
when you know that he
presented himself saying that this is the only type of connection I'm interested in,
mm-hmm.
and then you still believe that you're going to be able to change this being's mind,
and you get upset
yourself
in the end
because of your own expectations on thinking you can change another person's intent.
Yeah.
If that was the intent to begin with, why try to change that
or ignore it? And that's why I say it's important to not have expectations.
Not only
expectations is like having like you need it
being
instead
honest.
of desire.
It's just being honest though. Just being honest and not being upset by someone else's decisions.
Mm-hmm.
You agreed to it.
Mm-hmm.
If you agreed to the fact that, hey, this is all I want from you is a physical connection, nothing more, nothing less, then don't get upset when he is showing up emotionally unavailable.
Like
that is not your
already
role
presented to you.
Right.
I mean, there's
but they think that box can change everything.
I've had women who I've had women who knew what it was and they was okay with what it was.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime you spend time with somebody,
talk about it. Let's go deeper.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, so
energy.
So they can even go into this shit feeling like they can handle it. And in the past, they may have been able to handle it because they never came across a nigga quite like you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So,
there you go.
So there was times where, like, I had to understand that time equates feelings. Because especially when you a genuine motherfucker. Like the way I move, people can take their guard down around me.
Absolutely. Same.
So to the point where men and women get addicted to my presence.
Absolutely. Because
it comes with a space of rest where they ain't got to keep that facade up. You know what I'm saying? You allow a space of rest, and in that rest, they can reflect on themselves and repair themselves.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't have that opportunity with people.
Thank you for putting that in perspective for me, because that's exactly what it is.
And then also, I mean, if you fucking, if it's physical in it, you got to understand every time you bring a woman to sexual arousal, she's producing oxytocin, the same hormone that causes a bond between her and her baby.
Mm-hmm.
So you can say all that shit, all didn't no catch no feelings and shit like that. But if you the right kind of motherfucker that's giving time, and if you fucking them right, feelings is coming. Yeah. And they may have from the jump said, I can handle this, but again, they ain't never fucked with a nigga like you.
Exactly. So now that energy exchange is a little bit different. You're like, wait a minute.
Then that's when the soul ties come in. On the spiritual level, it's soul ties.
Absolutely.
But on a physical level, we got to understand our body is a laboratory. Whenever we in somebody's presence, we producing all kinds of drugs.
Absolutely.
We call them oxytocin, dopamine, endorphins. Those are drugs that are meant to bring about certain behaviors out of us.
Yes.
So people get addicted to your presence because they get addicted to the way you make them feel, because those feelings are derived from chemicals, no different than drugs. They get addicted to you.
It's that goddess energy.
Definitely.
That goddess energy.
That God energy.
I just gotta say
that
this,
make it addicted and God.
piggybacking off what my guy Kenny said. Come on, man. Like every beautiful woman that come in your life, fellas, is you not meant to poke her, bro. Not because you miss every bad chick that come in your life. You not meant to be intimate with every one of them. Y'all missing out so many blessings.
Just putting their penis all up in them things.
A lot of these women are meant to be your extra set of eyes, ears, you know, and y'all just
intuitive downloads,
opening doors for you, business partner or whatever, and y'all just destroying it because you can't control your lower chakras.
Yeah.
You know,
that's real shit.
So like,
but
what I wanted to say though was, how can a woman add to a man, right? My perspective is, where the fuck is the teamwork at? Like, sincerely, where's the teamwork at? Like, when you meet this person, have you taken the time to understand them, how they move, what they need? Do you love yourself enough to be his piece? Because if you going through your own chaos, how can I come home to you and it be peaceful? It's gonna be war when I get home. So this is another thing too. This is an interesting topic. When you go on a date with a woman, who supposed to pay?
They always talking about this.
Who supposed to pay when you go on a date with a woman?
Does it matter?
Why is the man always the one that's supposed to pay? I think about it like this. Listen, I don't mind paying. It ain't even about the money for me. It's about the teamwork. If I'm buying the food and you even offer to get the drinks, I'm gonna look at you a little different. Like, oh,
absolutely.
She want to come together in a spirit of collaboration. But if you only here to get a free meal from me, I don't even want you around anyway.
Exactly,
because you're not here to build. You know what I mean?
Part. I look at it as, the reciprocation of, and then also knowing, you could do these things as well. Everything that I desire, because I don't need or have expectations from men, but the things that I do desire from a man, I know that I can give that to myself first. And that's not from a place of independent woman. It's from a place of knowing that I'm an interdependent woman. So it's like, the things that I desire from him, best believe I can do it as well for myself. But I do desire that from you, but I also reciprocate. So I have no problem with paying. But would I desire my man to take care of things? Absolutely. But I also want him to know that I don't mind doing it either. You know what I mean? But a lot of women just want to be carried hand and foot and think, yes, pussy is power, but they mindset behind understanding the truth behind how the power of it is all fucked up. It's all wrong, and it's imbalanced. It's one-sided, and it's not fair. And that's why these things are showing up in their experiences, in their relationships, and things like that. And that's something that I truly had to learn. And that's why where I am, although I'm single, it's not because I'm just a bitter bitch. I ain't got no man. No, because I also know what I desire, and I know what is gonna benefit me and what's suitable for me, and I'm not gonna settle until I receive that.
Absolutely.
Somebody in your comments said, when I said who supposed to pay on a date, somebody said who asked. I'm gonna piggyback off that. So if you go out to eat with your best friend, it don't matter who asked. Is you gonna pay for your food, or are you gonna pay this time? It's like, if you going out with your best friend, are you gonna expect them to pay every time, even if they invited you? No, because you love your best friend and you want to come across as no leech. So where's that energy in the relationship? Why are we not coming together in the spirit of collaboration, period?
Disney.
No, Disney fucked up a lot of shit, but also knowing the souls that you are connected with too. Y'all know each other. We ain't even got to talk about it.
Exactly.
We ain't even got to, and if we do talk about it, then that's what it is. But if not, it's some days where you like, oh, I got it, or I got it, or I got it. And it's not even something that needs to be discussed, or you may even reach out and say, I want to take you out. And so then we are aware of it. But if it's like a mutual going out type of thing, it's kind of like we both at the same time might be like, and then one of the other individuals may be like, no, I really got it. You good. You know what I mean? So it's just like a connection and understanding between each other. And that's the trust. That's why I say under, because that's the lower chakra. So the trust in that. and really having that connection in that form. So it's like when you know who you dealing with, and a part of that is knowing yourself. When you know yourself, then you know who you're dealing with. And a lot of these unnecessary ass conversations don't have to come about.
Absolutely.
Especially that one about peace.
That's
Nigga,
it,
if you gotta even speak about a woman being your piece, you need to fucking go have a seat and have some introspection. Because you shouldn't even because you should know you're gonna attract the woman that's your piece.
Absolutely.
That you feel like, helps to bring you peace. You know what I mean? And that's the same for women when they think like that with men.
Yeah. It comes down to trusting yourself and what you are attracting to you. It really does. If you, and like he said, starting with self-love, discovery, self-awareness, all of these things. If you know what self brings to the table, you know what your self-worth is, and you know not to deter from that. So you know what your reflection should look like. And it shouldn't be you trying to make somebody else be in agreement. And I feel like that's the true root problem to relationships. It's a lot of motherfuckers that's together making each other try to figure out some shit that they want them to do. Like, if you know for a fact you don't want a woman that dressed this way, why the hell would you wife a woman that dressed that way?
And now you're trying to change her.
And now you want to change her. You want her to be a nun. But you attracted her in that sense. You get what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, that's just one example. And I'm not saying that I agree with a woman who is in a relationship just showing her whole ass. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying if this happens over and over and over again and it keeps showing up in your relationship, why are you with someone you have to keep on trying? Go be with a prude. Because clearly that's what you want. You are attracted to a prude bitch and you got a baddie. That's clearly, quit running after baddies if that's not what you want.
And allow yourself to let go and enjoy and appreciate the experience that you have with them and move the fuck on.
It's a lack.
Yeah, why you there?
When it comes to women and females, I'll keep it just to the, just from my interactions with people, within the city of Milwaukee. There is a lack of, and this is amongst males and females, there is a serious lack of self-love, self-worth, like you say, emotional intelligence, self-awareness, self-respect, self-dignity. I can keep going on and on and on.
But it all starts with self.
It all starts with self.
Yes.
So
all of them.
So really, what the question is, knowing that, where can that woman, where can that man start on that road to self-discovery, to self-respect, to self-love, to self-worth?
Are they single? Like, you asking single or just period? Anybody?
I mean, you're an individual regardless, whether you're in a relationship or not. Yeah. And sometimes you got to find your worth even within a relationship.
Most definitely.
Because you may be in a need to
having a conversation with yourself. Sitting with yourself.
Yes.
Still
and that's
quiet.
Where it starts.
Asking.
Yes.
It starts with this question: am I happy?
Yes.
And then when you answer that shit, you
honest.
like my mind process, like my pops always laughed at me
with self, with yourself.
Because my mind processing algorithm, my mind processing if statements, if or statements. Like, my pops was like, "Damn, you fucking robot." But it's like, if this, then this. So if I'm happy, nothing else is needed. If I'm not happy, why aren't you happy? Because of this. Okay, what is standing in your way of changing this? Well, this, and this. Okay, well, what one of these things
you can change?
Right. Which one of these things we could change? Which one of these things we need to accept? And which one of these things we need to rise above? You know what I'm saying? But that's where it starts. It starts with that's the beginning of shadow work. And a lot of times, a lot of times, man.
Wait. Why you do that? Come on.
You do this before you even ask for the number. All right, you do this before you even ask for the number. Go ahead.
That's what I was gonna say, G. Like, unfortunately, because so many of us use each other to distract ourselves from the work we need to do. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of shadow work motherfuckers need to do. But what happens is, I'm unhappy, but I'm gonna grab this person because they make me happy right now.
Yeah, but he make me feel love, or she make me feel comfort.
is infatuation. And the fucked up thing is, infatuation can last from 6 months to 3 years. Even more now that the average relationship is on the internet and you ain't really meeting that motherfucker. You meeting a representative. So a lot of times,
all the sneaky links out there.
Exactly. That's the situationship.
The situationship.
But
a
lot of times, right? We use each other as a distraction from the work we need to do to become happy. So once we get used to this person and their presence no longer is a distraction to keep us from being unhappy, now they're included in the reason we're unhappy. You know, well, now I'm still not happy, but it got to be this person because
the reality then caught up to the fantasy.
Right. So again, you got to do. And I ran for so long. Like when I went through like I tell people, I got married at 20. So I was a husband and father before I even learned who myself was as a man. So when I was faced with a time of losing both of my positions or roles, I was left out there trying to figure out who the fuck I was. So when I was in the house alone, all I heard was, nigga, you done failed your motherfucking kids. You couldn't keep this woman happy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's all I felt and heard in the house. So I was at Jean's Supper Club on Monday, Jean's Lanes on Tuesday, Connie's Nightlife on Wednesday, back to Jean's Lanes on Thursdays, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It ain't matter where the fuck I was because every place was lit. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get to a point where, and a lot of times we try to escape with
escapism. They don't want to be home,
and that, but so they either don't stay home. Right. Well, the loneliest I ever felt was in a club full of motherfuckers that I didn't want no connection with. So it taught me that you're gonna be alone. You're gonna feel. There's a difference between feeling lonely and alone. Alone is just a state of being. Lonely is a mindset.
Absolutely.
So I was lonely around a shitload of motherfuckers that stunk like Black and Milds and Hennessy.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So not only am I lonely now, I'm dealing with the smell of Black and Mild, the smell of Hennessy, and then these was women. So they, you know, it was women come to me in the club. Oh, you fine in a motherfucker. And all you smelled was weed and Hennessy on their breath. You know what I'm saying?
Girl, get back.
So it's like, this was out here. You know, it just further made me depressed. Because it's like, damn, I want to be home with my lady. Shit, this ain't shit out here.
But then when you go home, you feeling lonely at home.
And so I was faced to deal with myself. But there's so many. So step one is learning yourself. Because once you learn yourself, you can then identify your purpose. Once you identify your purpose, you can align yourself with someone who complements your purpose.
Absolutely.
We get into relationships as a distraction, have kids, and now we got to turn this bullshit into something. And then even when we do elevate, evolve, and become our true self, we're still obligated or tied to a person who just served as our distraction.
Fuck.
It just is what it is.
You gotta ask yourself this question: how long have you ever been alone?
How do you utilize that?
Which one?
Oh, my bad.
We
talking at the same time. Go ahead.
What was the question?
No, I was saying you gotta ask yourself, like, how long have I really been alone? Like, I know so many people. I'm talking about they was in relationships in middle school, high school, young adult, and it's like, have you spent a fucking season by yourself? How do you expect to know yourself? You know what I mean?
They don't like themselves, so they can't deal with themselves. We treat ourselves like that motherfucker that was left on the couch with us when our friends went to go and fuck. Like, dog, you gonna leave me out here with this motherfucker? Like, that's how we treat ourselves. Hey, don't leave me alone with myself, G. I don't fuck with me like that.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? That's how we treat ourselves.
Yes,
but we have to sit down and listen to our story. We have to sit down and listen to ourselves tell us, hey, fam, well, remember, we like this because this happened. Remember, we don't trust women because shit, that last time this happened.
Or I saw my mama
right.
whole ass shit.
You know, so there's
I don't trust women.
Right. And that's the
Let's
thing.
Be clear.
People
Let's
be
talk
like,
about
how
it.
can you disrespect black women? I lost a Facebook friend of this question. How can you disrespect black women when your mama was a black woman? I said, shit, some of my niggas end up on the plug because they mama smoked they shit, took they shit, ran off with they shit. And your relationship with your parent is the cornerstone of your relationship with anybody else. You can't trust your parent. You can't trust your origin. How can you ever trust anybody else?
And they walking around feeling like that.
Yes.
Whew. We need some little action sounds, some
right.
and shit. fucking onomatopoeias and shit.
But just imagine like having all this information before you even step into a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You have this self-awareness. You know exactly who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what you desire, what your goals are. You know all these things, and on top of that, you love yourself, you respect yourself, you value yourself,
you honor yourself,
you
have self-worth.
So then you won't waste your time with motherfuckers that are in opposition to all of that.
Yeah, you have gratitude for yourself. Going back to gratitude, you have gratitude for yourself. Mm-hmm. So now I can express that in my woman, in my lady, in my wife, in my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. I can express that in my man, my boyfriend, my husband. So it's very crucial that we are brave enough to sit alone with ourselves.
Right. You sit alone with yourself, you gonna fuck around and like yourself. Man, and then when you are your best company, like I became my favorite company. So
I'm the shit.
I don't have to deal with motherfuckers.
That's a whole nother podcast.
Oh, that's Sacred Living with Tender B. My bad. That's my other podcast.
It's all about loving yourself.
I got a question.
Self-love.
I got a question for everybody on the panel right now.
Okay.
So, what does a woman submitting to a man look like to y'all? Because I've met so many women who like, I'm not finna submit to you, nigga. Like, and from my understanding, they say that the woman who submit got more power over the man than the one that argue with him.
I don't even think that's a conversation that needs to be had. It's the action from the men allows a woman to naturally go into that space. And that's not even if I which I won't, but if I had to have a conversation about submission with a man, it's like, no, that's me personally. But everybody has different perspective of what submission is too. So we have to be mindful of that. But it for me personally, it's an individual that I desire that is also allowing me to be in a place to wanting to reciprocate that same love and energy in ways that make him feel like I'm being submissive, whatever way that play out for him. So that's me personally. No? Anybody else?
I can.
I mean, are you asking from a woman's perspective?
He said from everyone. Yeah, everybody got different perspectives.
Okay, go ahead. It don't matter. I can go. Go ahead, baby. Okay. So for me, like Bree said, it's more so the action that the man shows, and it comes naturally. And I feel like we just got to get down to the word submission and not look at it in the same perspective everyone is looking at it as.
In the way that,
and just start there. Like,
it's a negative stance.
It's a negative stance on submission. Yeah. So me being submissive to my man is being respectful of him, listening when he talks, being emotionally available for him, and giving him those spaces to be vulnerable and to be able to uncover and be that's place of peace for him. To me, that's being submissive. That's when he's taking care of the household financially. I'm taking care of the things on the inside and taking care of I'm trying to think of the word. Basically just running the household, mandating the household or whatever, taking care of the kids. When I was a stay-at-home mom, I dive deep into whatever I'm doing anyway. So he never had to come home and lift a finger. That house was on point. It's clean. It's smelling good. Them children taken care of. He literally, all he had to do was sit down. That plate was being brought to him. To me, that is being submissive because I want to do these things for my man.
Right.
Not because I'm being made to, or because I didn't never looked at it in a sense that I was his maid or I'm doing these things. No, I wanted to, because what the fuck else am I doing?
Right.
But also, a lot of people.
Not only that, I want to do this because I'm coming from a feminine space, and I'm nurturing, and that's my job to do these things. So if he's working and he's doing all of that, it's nothing for me to be his place of peace when he gets home and make sure that His castle is clean. His children are taken care of. You know, that way when he gets home, he can rest. And he can be able to, you know, get the nourishment that he needs, be able to have that counselor that he needed to uncover whatever energy he picked up throughout the day. Or I can recognize that in him. Oh, your energy a little off. You need to go sage yourself, go meditate, go do something before you kiss me. I'm that woman. Right. I recognize these things in you, and I see that you are heavy. Something is off with you. Go handle that, then come back to me. So I'm giving you that awareness. I'm bringing that awareness to you that something is off, and I'm also bringing you that awareness that you need to go within yourself because something is off, and I know I didn't cause it. So I'm gonna need you to go handle that before you transfer that these ways. So I've done that to my husband before. He knows that, you know, and it's just holding one another accountable. That's being submissive as well. It's holding him accountable and knowing when he is a little off or something is going on, I'm bringing him back to perspective on what you really said you wanted to do. These are the things you want to do. Let's get to it. And that's still being submissive because I'm keeping him on his path. That's my goal. That's my job as his helpmate. Period. And these females, I feel like y'all pride just be a little bit way up here that you feel like you're not supposed to do nothing for a man. And a man's supposed to just do everything for you. And it's not that. Lose that mindset that if he wins, we win. Period. What am I here for if I'm not here to support this man becoming his greatest self and his highest self? If I'm not to do that, I'm holding him back. And there's really no need for me to be here. Right. For real. He can get pussy anywhere.
Anywhere.
What else you got?
And then half the time, y'all ain't giving that. The house nasty. You ain't cooked shit. And the kids dirty and shit when you come home. All that.
But what if she do all those things and then I think it's also the perspective of what people think submissive is. Okay. Because some people the gender roles don't even like that gender role shit. It don't fly.
We don't do gender roles.
No, I'm just saying from the perspective of that. Like, so what if you're an individual? It can be a woman that do all of those things. But his ideology of what submissive is ain't that. You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, no. Well, no, some people don't think about roles like that. Some people don't feel like, oh, because a woman does that, that's what makes her submissive. That's what I'm saying. Because people have different perspectives.
Yeah. So you think he's just saying, like a man would say, well, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Like, because you kept saying, like, that's my job. But to you and Kenny, that may be something y'all feel like is submissive and allows you to let him be in that space. But then there's people that don't even work for. So that's why in the beginning, when you asked it, I was like, it's so many different perspectives. It's about what the individual
Absolutely. And what
as a collective, like what submission looks like for them.
That's what I was basically coming from my perspective and from my role and what I look at submission in my relationship and in our connection. That is what I view submission. We don't have gender roles. Now, when I'm working full time and he's working full time, it's whoever get home first. You're gonna bust down dinner.
Yes.
And then the next
y'all be team working like a motherfucker.
Man, every time.
See, that's to me. That's really what it boiled down to. Like I'm
just being a team.
I'm
reciprocating and understanding each other.
All right, I'm really feel break this shit down for y'all.
Let's go.
Let's
go, King God.
As you was talking, baby.
Thank you, cousin.
I was definitely getting downloads and a entirely different perspective when it comes to submission or the woman being willing to submit. So first of all, I want women to be open-minded to even, changing their perspectives on what submission is. So broad. That is a power that the feminine have, that women have. When you submit to a man, when you choose to, because you can't be made to, you can't be forced to. It's a choice. They have to choose. So they have to want to submit. So when they do that, submission is y'all power. And I say it's y'all power because when you submit to a man, what you are doing is you are allowing him to experience you both physically, mentally, and spiritually. So by me submitting to this man, I am allowing you to not only experience and explore the physical aspects of my body, but now I'm about to allow you to tap into these mental and spiritual gifts that I have.
Mm.
You know, women are far more in tune than men are. So they have a higher sense of intuition. They're more empathic. So by my wife being willing to submit to me, now I'm tapped into her intuition. I'm tapped into her empathy. I can utilize not just what comes with her physically, but intellectually, with mentally, spiritually. You know, she's gonna be in a position to now she wants to inspire me, encourage me, and so that's really what that is when a woman submits to a man. I am gonna allow you to fully reap the benefits that come with being with me, that come with being in my presence, mentally, physically, metaphysically. You know, you get to experience and explore all of this. I am releasing this power to you, and with that power, you know, we can take it back to Spider-Man, Uncle Ben. With great power comes great responsibility. When that woman submits and gives that man that power, now that man has a responsibility, because what comes with that power, you have to have, you know, like my wife said, there's no gender role. So there's teamwork, there's reciprocation. You know, there's balance. It's really what it boils down to. When a woman submits to a man, that relationship should become balanced, because we are no longer, like I said, we are no longer individuals at that point. Now you're submitting, you're releasing your power to me. Now you're gonna allow me to tap into that inspiration. You're gonna allow me to be vulnerable with you. You're gonna allow me to open up to you so that you can inspire and encourage me. And in return, I'm gonna provide you with structure, with foundation, with grounding, with logic, with wisdom, with motivation. So, you know,
exchanging.
Yes, protection. Yes. Again, balance, give and take, yin and yang.
Yes.
So that's what submission is, and if that's how,
there we go.
If it's viewed like that from that perspective, a woman will not have any problem with handing that over to a man that they know will be responsible and worthy,
honoring
of that submission.
Absolutely. You ain't just giving that shit away.
All right.
You
left no crumbs.
away.
There you go. Absolutely.
I love that, Kenny.
Yes. That was a great perspective, babe. Where did clap? Woo, 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 woo,
No, we need some fucking buttons.
So basically what I took from that is that it's basically how the man demonstrate, which will allow the woman to even have that energy of wanting
it's
to
a
submit.
capability.
Yeah.
Like with submission, I look at it like this.
Break it down, cuz. Turn that camera on them.
No, just playing. You can do whatever you feel. I look at it like this, and just from a practical standpoint,
give us that earth.
I don't like to drive.
Mm-hmm.
I drive because I don't trust the next motherfucker in the driver's seat. You know what I'm saying? that
Okay.
real shit.
Okay.
But when I find somebody that I trust to drive, it feel good as fuck sitting in that passenger seat, fucking with the radio, looking out the window, shit like that. So that's how I look at submission.
Yes.
Like people think
Thank
of submission as being subjected to somebody else's will.
Absolutely.
When in actuality, is more so alignment. That
Absolutely.
submission is alignment.
Yes.
And
Alignment.
it ain't that the average woman is too prideful to submit. Let's call it what it is. It's fear. She's tried to submit before somebody failed her.
Absolutely.
Or her daddy failed her mama. Or somebody failed
Or failed
along
her.
the line.
Or failed her.
Shit. So again, it's fear. I mean, there a lot of time arrogance is insecurity, shit like that. So a lot of times what we see ain't what it really is.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
So with that, I look at it as alignment. I look at it as, because I understand my nature and the feminine nature, I can present, again, a space. I'm all about presenting safe space. Like I never had to ask a woman to submit, because my character, the energy I come with.
Yes.
Like when anybody who ever fucked with me, It ain't never been a time I was sleeping on their couch. It ain't never been a time I was living with them. Like whenever people even come into my world, I've already got a world established.
Absolutely.
That I'm willing to make them queen of.
Absolutely.
But my shit is already set. So she ain't had to come in
self-sustaining, and that's the thing right there.
And the embodiment of who you are. You embodying your logic and moving in your structure and discipline and all of those abilities as a masculine too.
Absolutely.
Two. In addition to.
I got an unfair advantage. You know what I'm saying?
What's that?
I'm a Cap rising. So you see
Are
daddy.
You
see daddy when you see me, baby.
Oh, you. So, hobby, you ever fuck with a Cancer who is mother?
Well,
I'm just curious how that works.
My best relationships are Cancers, and I've never been in a romantic relationship with a Cancer.
Do you think it's because of the mother energy and the father energy?
Oh, I already know something. Then I'm a Taurus. So naturally, you know, Cancers and Taurus is like, but then, like I said, what's presented to the world is that Cap. Or Capricorn, you know, we done gave Capricorn.
Yeah, the bad image and shit, capping and shit.
You know what I'm saying? So it's easy because the way I present myself is of structure, of logic, of methodical progress.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying. So when you see somebody who has a trait of success type shit, there is no mistrust of will this nigga make it happen for us. Because they seen me make it happen for me in my 39 years. You know, you know what I'm saying? So I don't have to have that argument of submission.
Absolutely.
Because women are happy to give it up and I finally got a nigga I can rest. Oh, thank you. Here go the keys. You can drive.
There you go.
Right, of submission that they give you.
You know, and I consider it an honor and a privilege. So I try not to abuse that power that women give. I'm big on power.
Absolutely.
I'm an 8. You know, I'm a life path 8.
Hey,
so
in the building.
So you know, power, success, manifestation. That's what I fuck with. You know, but so I'm big on power, but I hate abused power. So as a person who hate abused power, I never tried to get a title that I wasn't willing to operate in.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of times niggas take on a title because it sound nice.
Absolutely.
But when it's time to be that shit, it's like, well, baby, what we gonna do? You know what I'm saying?
Like embody.
I said embody. I said you embody
it. So that's the thing. But understanding just the duality of nature, I understand that woman is the base. She's the beginning. And then created me to protect her and provide for her while she do her thing for our nation.
Absolutely.
So I understand her power, and I understand that it's not meant for me to control her power. It's meant for me to harness her power.
Absolutely.
You can't control the wind, but if you build a sail, you can harness that shit. You can't make the sun shine, but if you got a magnifying glass, you can direct that shit.
Let's go.
So it ain't just energy without direction.
Absolutely.
So we do bring a benefit when we bring guidance and direction.
Absolutely.
So now you.
Kenny said utilize it.
I mean, it's getting good to you. That's all.
Talk that shit. Come on, y'all.
To piggyback off of that inspired this question. So women, it shouldn't be, you know, or let me say it shouldn't be, but can I pose and change the question from, you know, why a woman should submit to a man to the question of what type of man are you submitting to?
That's the number. Yes,
because that's in my opinion is what the issue is. It's not submitting. You know,
or
submitting.
What are you calling a man?
It's y'all power. That's y'all power.
Yes,
so
and then it gets tarnished.
It's a great thing to hand over to, like Real said, to a man that's going to use it responsibly.
Absolutely.
It's what type of man are you submitting to? What type of man are you giving that power to? That's really the question.
Most times they give their power away and don't even admit it. They don't even. They're not aware of it. Like, I mean, if you think about it, whether it's the government making provisions for your housing, your food, your health care,
go deeper,
or if it's your pastor telling you how to live through this week,
Yes.
They're designed to follow guidance and direction. But because a lot of them are scared because some nigga failed them, they inadvertently submit to these other patriarchal entities, not even realizing it.
And why is that? Why is that they continue to do it over and over again?
Because they don't know. They
don't know
not realizing what is it that they missing?
It goes back to the fear. Most people who have a problem with submission are coming from fear or pain from somebody who at one time was in power. So they be determined. Now, I mean, it ain't, and I ain't trying to shit on any woman out here, but when you working 2 and 3 jobs, your children suffer.
Absolutely.
You talking about 3 jobs short and your kids still in kids because your ass ain't home. You know what I'm saying? So you arrogant and prideful because you're able to make a way. Shit, I could hop around on 1 foot. It can be done. Should it be done? Right. Eventually, that 1 foot is gonna get wear and tear and break the fuck down because it's not walking in balance with its counterpart.
Absolutely. There you go. Drops mic.
Another area be affected too. That's some kids.
And babies, and that's what it's about.
Yes.
That's what it's about. Building for your legacy.
Absolutely.
Raising them to be able to maintain and manage your legacy.
Like Trinity, man, woman, and child.
Exactly. That is the true Trinity. That is God.
Absolutely.
Man, woman, creation.
Absolutely.
That whenever opposite poles come together, you're gonna get creation. So the trick is learning that balance between dark, light. You know, women, great dreamers. Let a man help you develop a plan to that shit and strategize.
Absolutely.
Without you telling him he being negative.
It does, man. It get different.
Sometimes we come with that structure and that strategy. And, well, I don't want to hear all that negative shit. I just got this dream right now. No, baby. As your man,
put some action
as your man, we need to strategize and understand that there's going to be pitfalls. But if we identify what could possibly happen and be prepared for it, we're going to get a whole lot further instead of skipping and dreaming and falling in that shit and then still need a nigga to get you out of it. You know what I'm saying? So,
talk to him. Talk to him.
Let me lace these bitches up real quick.
Lace them up. Lace them up. Run around the block. Get that shit off.
Men are amazing. Men are amazing.
Yes,
you just proving this shit right here. What it will do.
The power of a masculine. Y'all be so guarded, and I get it. I get it. It's just pain, yes. And y'all, and I mean, men and women are both coming from a.
And you looking at it as protecting. You're looking at it as protecting.
You know, and it's so trendy right now to not give a fuck about nothing or to not care about anything. And it's like it's a huge lie.
It's a lie.
But I'm
we
saying
all
it's
got
trendy.
Feelings.
Exactly.
And we can. The more time we spend denying our feelings,
absolutely,
the less experience and understanding we are getting with our feelings. So now when you're in your feelings, you acting ignorant as fuck because you lack the experience and understanding of what this feeling is really called.
And which could create wisdom so that if you experience it again, you won't act the way that you act.
Exactly. And that's what emotional intelligence
that
is.
Wisdom, you know, everything. 12 steps to we gotta say it together.
Available on Amazon.
12 steps to becoming your own dope. Get that shit. Pick up that shit. Available now. No, I love
you and your man.
I love every minute of
y'all do it together.
Thank you, Chaos, for opening that dialogue. That was really good because that's something that is a good conversation to have between women and men, God and goddesses, so that is greater awareness, you know, so that if someone does have to go in and do some work, whether it's the man or the woman, so that things can be balanced.
Yes.
That balance is everything. We are here for each other.
Yes, we're thriving for that.
Well, it starts with self first. So I'm truly, truly grateful for this experience, for y'all wisdom and y'all words. Kenny, you got any last words for us?
I mean, he was dropping them gems.
You know what? No, I'm just thankful to be here, man. I know I haven't been in the city like that, so I was missing my boy Rail and the Chaos energy. I was missing Bree energy. So to be holding space with y'all, I'm thankful.
Thank you. What about you? What about you, Chaos?
Well, I just got one last, little bomb to drop on y'all heads before we get out of here. But I feel like we got to really understand what the gender roles are now, because it's not 1955 no more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like, we live in a time now where actually women make more money than men.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not about, financial abundance. It's really about you allowing a woman to operate in her space and a man to operate in his space. Now, from my understanding, women are emotional creatures, right? That doesn't make that bad. That's their superpower, right? And men, we supposed to be logical. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that that's the real gender role. Like if a man find himself, not to say we can't have emotion, but if you acting off your emotion and you've been you embodying
the feminine,
yeah, you know what I mean. So I just want to drop that, just make y'all think. Women gonna test you, bro. They can't help but test us. Why? Because a lot of men out here say something that they not. It's a whole subconscious psychological thing. Women gonna test you. I'm just gonna drop it. Leave it at that.
Thank you for that. What about you, Big Real? What you got to say?
Let's go,
Big Dog Oracle.
I mean, just
amazing guys.
Learn yourself and love yourself, because the golden rule does not apply until you do that shit.
Yes.
We tell each other to treat each other as we would like to be treated, when the average motherfucker mistreat themselves because they don't like themselves.
Absolutely.
So we can't change none of this shit until we learn emotional intelligence, until we do the shadow work to not only learn ourselves, but love and accept ourselves, so that we can present our true self to the world.
Absolutely.
So that somebody who better lines up with, like, motherfuckers get mad because they get a person that ain't really aligned with them, but it's because they're projecting a fake ass person.
Exactly.
You projecting what you really ain't, and it attracted what really ain't into you.
Exactly.
So, but that stems from having to put on a facade because you don't feel your true self is worthy enough for the light.
Mm-hmm.
Like my moon is Leo. So,
mine too.
So that's where I shine, is in the unseen, in the emotional understanding.
Very passionate.
So, I am emotional, and I'm very in touch with my emotions.
Absolutely.
But again, Taurus sun, Capricorn rising, so it sandwiches that shit in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
2 Earth sandwiching that crazy shit in. So, I could be in my head, fiery. I could be in my emotions, but usually I keep that shit in.
I'll be in this
and calculate a way to get myself out of it. But usually I end up talking shit because I'm a Gemini Mars, so I'm gonna talk my shit when
intellectually.
I'm mad.
Intellectually talking shit.
I'm gonna slice you up politely. You know what I'm saying?
But it ain't gonna be light, baby.
But
man, I stay in this thing right here.
See, and that's why you need to know yourself, so you even know how to conduct yourself accordingly.
Absolutely.
We ain't just one person. It's like split in this motherfucker. But we don't be knowing who we get alike to. But once you understand yourself and understand how the strength of each aspect of yourself, you're like, nigga, you got to get on the podium and bring a word. All right, go ahead, Mars, you handle this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how you do it.
And a lot of people I don't need to know
be in
all
touch
of
with
this.
your
I
emotions.
ain't into all of this.
Right. You need to help somebody understand their emotions.
Understand your own.
Come on, Moon Leo, you handle this shit.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So once you learn yourself and love yourself, it's a superpower, because it's almost like you got the cheat code. You know what I'm saying? You got the cheat code of how the world operate, but then you got the cheat code of how you operate.
Now
so
you just
the cosmic blueprint.
Exactly.
That's the cosmic blueprint.
That's what I do.
That's how you do it.
Now, I'll say this too real quick, because I speak to a lot of men, and just giving just a little insight to the women, to what these men are going through. Like, they are hurt. They are hurt. They are wounded. They are confused. They are scared. They are frustrated. So I will leave everybody with what I always emphasize when I do talk to men in particular, and that's start with self.
Right.
It all starts with self. And it's almost Scorpio season. Shout out to Scorpio.
Oh, get up out of here. Get up out of here. No, that was beautiful.
Yes.
And
yes.
One last little housekeeping rule for ourselves is, within our mindfulness, when we get into spaces or places or experiences, that we don't like or desire or makes us feel uncomfortable and we are aware of it, change it.
Change it.
Let go of it.
Yeah.
Do not allow it.
Mm-hmm.
Separate from it. Because a lot of times you'll get to that level of having introspection and then you are aware of it, but you do nothing with the awareness. And then you still sitting in that. So it's important that we take action into that awareness as well, because it will help you out deeply, because you have to be grateful that you have that awareness, because you could be in a place where you're not aware on why you're not happy or why you're not fulfilled or why this is going this way in your life, you know? So for example, if we attract the motherfucker that we complaining about, but it's a projection, and we say, okay, I've had conversations like that. Like, Bree, bitch, that's you.
Yeah.
And you don't like it, do you? So get rid of it. Work on that, heal that, fix that, correct that within yourself. And a part of that is letting go if it's an experience with somebody and then working on you and going back within so that you can attract and allow and experience things that is more desirable.
And get the knowledge.
And get the knowledge and the wisdom.
Yeah, get the knowledge. If you trying to change yourself, there's actually this thing called the science of change, because change, the human mind loves familiarity. So that's why we even fuck with nothing ass people, because they're familiar.
Absolutely.
And we scared to change. So anybody who needs to change their situation and want to learn how, I would recommend you look up Joe Dispenza and the science of change. Joe Dispenza, Joe, last name Dispenza. And he teaches the science of change, how visualizing how you want shit to be takes the edge off of changing, because as you visualize, you're reprogramming your mind and making new neural connections that's more familiar with the change you want to see.
Yes.
And then also Bruce Lipton, who talks about the subconscious. It's good that we want to change, but we're only aware of what we're doing 5% of our day. The other 95% of our day is working on the subconscious, and we're working in the program. So if you're trying to leave somebody alone, only time you're going to leave them alone is when you're consciously deciding to leave them alone.
Absolutely.
But that other 95% of the time that you're working on your everyday routine, your 95% of your day is going to try to go back to that motherfucker. So Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton, so that you can find a way to apply the change that you desire.
Apply it. Apply it. Take action.
Application to change is so important.
Knowledge ain't shit without the application.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Putting that action in, embody it.
Embody it.
What you got to say, Big
What I got
Rena?
to say? So, so just, bringing it all back into perspective and just knowing that we are all operating from these places of fear, and recognizing that in ourselves when we get into these connections and saying, you know what? I know that I'm operating in fear because of this, and knowing ourselves. So that way, when we are attracting these other beings, first of all, just knowing what you want in a relationship. Most women haven't even sat down and said, this is what a man looks like to me, and this is what I desire in a man. And knowing your actual desires and attaching a worth to those desires, which means nothing is going to deter that. No matter if you can come with the cars, the house, everything on the physical. But if I said I needed a man who's intellectual, I need a man who's emotionally available, I need a man who's able to do these things for me, on a spiritual or desire. I desire these things, not a need. I'm sorry. We don't even operate in need.
Not a sorry bitch.
I apologize. We don't operate in need, or desperation. So it's more of a desire. And if I desire these things, you need to know what your desires are in order to attract them to you. And that goes for male and female. If you don't know what your desires are, and that's one of the things I feel like we always hear women being told, know your worth, know your worth, know your worth. But we never tell men to know their worth and to understand their worth. And I feel like that's where we need to start, is really, even if you got a brother, a cousin, whoever, whatever male in your life, start pointing that back to them and letting them know that they have worth as well. Know and what your worth is.
Quick.
You're not worthy of a woman who is going to come in and tell you ain't shit every day. You're not worthy of a woman who's going to put you down and tell you ain't, you know, that you're not a good father, you're not a good man, but she's still fucking with you,
or don't support your dreams,
or don't support anything that you have going on. So you're not worth. And when you start knowing and understanding these things, that you're not worthy of dealing with these things, then you will start attracting better and having more standards for these women as well.
Having their desires.
Now they can raise their desires, because now, honestly, if we really want to be real, a lot of y'all niggas created these bad bitches that y'all running after, because they have there's no expectations from them. All y'all give a fuck about is if they look good, they got a fat ass, and if you can bone that night. That's it. They have nothing that they have to bring to the table. Then you get mad when they say they the table. You told them they was the table because she was a bad bitch and she had pussy and bundles, and that's all she brought to the table.
And these women been social media programmed to think
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
That's it.
And then they desire other relationships based off social media, and not even creating their own desires. So then when they experience the shit that they've been desiring based off of somebody else reality,
they see what really comes.
They
with
really
it.
not happy with that shit.
They really see what comes with it. This man is not emotionally available to her.
Oh, but you got that Benz though.
Yeah, you riding that Benz. You riding real clean. Them bundles stay right.
Yeah.
Pushing them edges bite. We ain't gonna talk about that though. That's another episode.
It's a book I recommend. The name of the author is slipping my mind at the moment, but it's called the 5 Love Languages.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
It was very informative, very insightful, and so I would really recommend people to check into that book. It really helps you to realize what it is that you view as someone displaying love. You know, what does love look like to you and for you? And that can really help you in, you know, not just knowing how you express love, but also how you expect and want to receive love from others. So check that book out.
And to understand how your partner views love, because we can be loving them in our love language, and they never feel love because you're not doing it in the way that they receive it. Yeah. So it's also me too. So it's very important that we understand, you know, but again, we can't present these things if we don't know anything about ourselves. So
we need the button.
With self.
We need the goddamn button.
What the
fuck the button at?
We gotta know.
Yes.
We gotta know what the...
Yes. Well, I thank y'all for coming out.
Yes, thank y'all.
We appreciate it. We were so excited about y'all coming. If you can, let the people know where they can find y'all at. Anything y'all would like them to know about y'all, so we can stay connected, because I know y'all dropped a lot of gems that a lot of people can utilize and maybe even want to connect with you to go further in that, and you can guide and assist if you're open to it. So let us know where we can find y'all at, Real.
You can find me on Facebook, RELLY space JAI. If you need any assistance with, you know, starting the change process, knowing where to start on your self-healing. Also, I'm on TikTok, Higher Frequency, HIGHERFREAKUENCY, where I try to just, you know, drop knowledge on elevating consciousness, and also drop knowledge to where people who, from where I was, as far as like a Christian, are okay and learning to be more comfortable with some of these concepts, understanding that they are found in the Bible. Law of attraction, whatever.
Absolutely.
It is in the Bible, and it ain't nothing demonic about healing yourself. We got to stop demonizing the healing process.
Absolutely.
You better talk. Thank you, Real.
For that.
Kenny.
Yeah, so I have a Facebook group. It's called the Brotherhood 414, along with Rail, my boy Sauce Guy, a couple other individuals. You know, Chaos is also, you know, been a part of that, and you can go there. It's all about uplifting men. We provide you know, inspirational quotes, you know, different resources as far as, you know, holistic healing, you know, just a safe space for men to come and, you know, be amongst other men and get support and encouragement. So that's the Brotherhood 414. Check out that Facebook group.
Thank you, Kenny. King Chaos, God Chaos.
Y'all can follow me on TikTok at KAOSTAROT. Money spells, prosperity spells.
Yeah, big magic, big magic, big magic. Yes, I love it.
I definitely appreciate you for having me here. It's been a beautiful experience, sincerely.
Yes, thank you. Gratitude
for y'all being here on our. I don't even know what episode this is.
Our second episode. Because we
recording.
bike in this bitch.
We bike.
Big Arena, Big Bree, aka Grace Cole, aka Young G. We out this bitch.
Goddess Rena out.